The Game Day Broadcast Network is proud to present Baseball Media Day. Baseball Media Day is brought to you by ION Training Center, the premier training center for Olympic athletes and hockey in Northern Virginia, and by Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. Call Robin O'Connor and her team at Integrated Sports Medicine the next time you have to get back in the game.
My name is Tony Felt. I'm the head baseball coach at Centreville High School. This is my fourth year as head coach, seventh year with the program. Prior to Centreville, I was at Westfield High School for a year, and before that, Oakton High School as well. Short recap of last season. Last season was probably the most fun season since I've been at Centreville. It was a great group of seniors. We graduated 12 seniors this year. The group last year was, very tough group, a resilient group. They fought through a lot, learned a lot. They played well together. They played since they were. I've seen them grow up since probably the age of my son's age, probably like 5, 6, or 7. They were the best of friends, and they played for each other all year long. And I think that's what helped us last season get to the regional semifinals. We lost in the regional semifinal game to Westfield High School, a very, very good Westfield High School team at Westfield. Best part about it was just watching them play together all season and understanding what they had to do. They didn't have the talent. We definitely didn't have the talent that Westfield had or some of the other teams in our conference, but we had guys who wanted to win for each other. And when they figured that out at the end of the season, we went on a good run right at the end of the season against Chantilly, Oakton, and South Lakes to get us into the tournament. Then went up against a really good Marshall team, and then got us back to another game against Westfield at Westfield, which is always fun. Wasn't able to pull that one out in the regional semifinal game, but just the atmosphere and all the families from both the Westfield side and the Centreville side. It was a large group on both sides that had played together their entire baseball career, and it was a great way to. If we had to lose and we had to end the season, it was a great way to do it with some friends on the other side of town. It was hard to see that group go. But really, one of the most fun seasons we had. As I said, we graduated 12 seniors. Probably the most notable will be Matthew Colella, our shortstop. In my mind, one of the best hitters in the Concord district. He's at Lafayette now, starting shortstop, batting at the top of the order, having a really good freshman year, getting great opportunities there. Connor Hassan, another one of our seniors last year that graduated, he's at Mary Washington. Connor is playing center field a little bit for them, just pitched the other night for them, got a really, really cool bases loaded, 1 out, struck the 2 guys out to get out of the inning against a tough Westminster team the other night. So it's awesome to see him having some success. Those were really our only 2 players from last year that went on. Like I said, graduating 12 seniors, you'd think, okay, we had a bunch of guys go on to college to play, and we really didn't have a lot that went on to college to play except for Matthew and Connor. The other ones just went on to college to be college kids and enjoy the college life. But we're still on a text chain together with all of them, and they're all watching Matthew and Connor and cheering them on and having, living baseball through them, which is awesome. So, losing 12 seniors, we end up having a large group of, sophomores and juniors going to be what's the bulk of our varsity team this year. We return 1 senior to our varsity team this year, Logan Pilon. He's a Shenandoah commit, left-handed pitcher. Logan's been with us since his sophomore year. He pitched a lot his sophomore year, pitched more last year. He actually pitched in some big games. He pitched in that regional semifinal game against Westfield and pitched great. And we're going to lean on him a lot this year. Logan's a quiet kid, but he's fierce. Not to steal the Westfield mascot, but he's a bulldog. Logan likes to work fast, compete on the mound. So he'll be one of our leaders, one of our 3 captains this year. Other captain will be Ian Weber. Ian Weber is a junior. Ian's been with us on varsity since, again, he was a sophomore. Ian's going to do a bunch of different things for us. He'll probably end up being one of our arms on the bump. He'll be a guy that we'll see in the field at a bunch of different places, and obviously he's a really good catcher, so we'll have him at the back in the backstop as well. He's loud. He's got a potent bat. Got some power. We're going to lean on. Good kid, great leader. And our last captain is our sophomore, Michael Gambone. Michael Gambone had a great, really dynamic, I would say, freshman year to jump into the varsity. Beginning of last season, we didn't have him on varsity. We wanted to see, if he had it in him. And by game one, I was like, we need to get Michael up here. We need another arm. We were short arms last year. Michael came in, pitched the most innings, I believe, in the Concord district. Had an amazing ERA. Didn't have that many wins because of what he had around him in a batting order last year. But that kid competed like a horse all year long, and it paid off in the end of the year. He was the one who got us our win against Marshall. Obviously, he 4-0 shutout against the district champion Marshall last year to go on in the regional semifinal game. He was all conference. He was second team all region as a freshman, and we're going to lean on him and Logan to anchor our pitching staff this year, as well as both of them being two-way guys. They'll be playing first or the outfield and hitting for us somewhere at the top of the lineup. Other pitchers that we'll have this year, like I said, we graduated a lot. I don't want to keep dwelling on that, but it's kind of awesome to have the youth that we have. We're very young. We have so many different sophomores and juniors coming up that really have only had 1 year experience at JV, and now they're going to be thrown into the fire of varsity in the Concord district, which from what you know about the Concord district, that goes quick and fast and hard. And we will have one of our other pitchers we'll have is Dylan Hassan's going to be fighting for a spot at the top of the order. That's Connor Hassan's brother. Dylan is a tall, lanky, hard-throwing pitcher who's committed to working his tail off and trying to compete every single time he's on the mound. Nobody wants to pitch. Nobody wants to be in the game more than Dylan. Well, like I said, he and Weber will also fight for some spots on the mound. And a couple other sophomores and juniors. Thomas Souls, who was with us last year as mainly an outfielder and a bat, has really shined so far this year on the mound. Scrimmage the other night against West Springfield, he threw really well. Kason Chada, who's another sophomore. Kason Chada is a really good middle infielder. He's going to fight for a spot in our middle infield. Got a really nice bat, and he can throw it. He'll be another guy looking for a spot in the rotation as well. Along with probably like 8 other guys. We just have our pitching coach. This year I was lucky enough to get my friend and colleague Dan Ritz to come with us this year. Dan's joining us at Centreville as a pitching coach this year. As far as I'm concerned, Dan's one of the best pitching guys in the area. He knows how to work with young pitchers. He knows how to work with older pitchers, and he's just got a history of winning and developing good pitchers. If you look back at what he's done at Westfield for the last 5, 6, 7 years. So him to have those arms and that depth, especially as how young they are, is only going to be something great for the future of Centreville. Defensively, like I said, we graduated every position except first base, catcher, and Mason Keys, our third baseman, who will try also again. He's going to compete for a position at shortstop, third, and second. So we've got a wide open competition every single day. It sounds cliche, but we say you compete every single day. Every coach says you're competing. But we are legitimately competing every single day. I tell them that to win a position. You're competing against your own teammates to win a position, and you're competing against the other teams when we play those games. And they are in a fierce competition right now to see who's going to be our opening day starters at 6 or 7 positions out of the field, which is awesome. It's awesome because we're young, we're fresh, and they're going after it every single day, which makes practice that much easier and that much more fun to watch. It's an exciting time, especially with the youth that we have. We have I kept 2 freshmen up this year. We kept Ian Weber's brother, Ben Weber. Ben's a young outfielder with a really good arm, great bat, big kid, and Ben will end up being one of those guys who we'll see where we're at day to day, and he may be a guy who maybe goes down to play a little bit on JV if we don't see him in our depth chart for that day. And another one will be Joe Saucedo, who's another middle infielder. Joe Saucedo's a freshman. He could play anywhere in the middle infield we want him to. Quick bat, really quick hands, and he's been, they're keeping up with the sophomores and the juniors just like we expect them to. So they'll be competing every single day for those spots as well. Yeah, that's what we're looking for this season. Lots of competition. You know, our culture is our main thing is we have, and we write this on almost all of our shirts. It's about us on the back of our shirts. And it may, you know, when we go to play people and we say it's about us on the back of their shirts, it may come off as us being, you know, conceited. It's not against any other team that we're playing, but our team knows, and the only reason we had any success last year was it's about us. And when we say us, that means our team. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about you individual and your individual performances. It's about us as a team. So we buy into that "it's about us" motto. We compete. We're fast. We're tough, and we compete on every pitch, and that's what it's all about. It's about us.
Coach, can you talk a little bit more about the challenges of getting everybody to buy into that mindset?
Yeah, it is a challenge, and you know, one of the other things that makes it a challenge, and I've said this for years, is the fact that they spend the whole summer and they spend the whole fall going to showcases where it's not about us, it's about me. They go to, you know, and I'm not saying anything bad about those. You got to do it. It's part of the game now. But you spend the whole summer going to light up radar guns and try to get the fastest pop times you can and hit the ball as far as you possibly can. And you know, there's no signs. There's no you don't have a hit and run. You don't have a bunt. You're not sack bunting. You're not doing any of the baseball things that you normally do. And then you come to us and it's like, okay, I've got to change your mindset of what baseball is. Because high school baseball is not showcase baseball. It is not travel baseball. High school baseball, you're playing for your community. That's a big part of what we do. You know, we just got done with our Wildcat winter camp, and while it's a fundraiser, it's also an awesome time for our families and our community to come together, you know, East and West, come together and just learn about our players, learn about what high school baseball is like, learn about the differences between high school baseball and what you do in the summer and the fall. And, you know, it's community's key, and the more you get into the community, the more you see what we're doing with our high school players. I'm hoping that'll help build what a culture of high school baseball is based on different aspects.
How do you integrate the travel baseball mindset into high school baseball? And I assume it's not an instantaneous process.
No, right now it's probably the biggest issue we're having because we're young. So we have a lot of kids who have come up with the different travel organizations, and as soon as they hit 13, you know, my son right now he's 11, and he's on a 12U travel team that Dan Ritz and I actually coach, because we wanted to make sure that my most important part of travel baseball in my mind is development. It's development. Get them where they need to be to go to the next level, whether that's high school, college, or beyond. And a lot of travel teams preach that and do that, and that's awesome. But you know, I see it from what we do, just taking a 12-year-old team to a tournament. It's all about winning and winning at any cost. And to me, the hardest part is trying to get them to understand that you have to win. The end result is winning, obviously. You don't want to lose. But we want to develop you and get you ready for the next level and have you have some sense of a baseball IQ when you get there. So what I see is a lot of players that come up, and we just battled this last week. Honestly, just a very simple first and third situation, going over bunt defenses. It was raining, obviously, so we're in the gym. You can't see anything because the lights are yellow, the balls are white, the walls are white. You can't really see anything. So we're going over bunt defenses. We're going first and thirds, and a bunch of freshmen and sophomores and juniors, you know, and one senior, and we're going over it. There's only a couple guys that were with me on varsity last year, and those guys are trying to help, you know, feed these guys and have them understand what we do on our plays, you know, first and third plays and bunt defenses. And a lot of them were like deer in headlights, because I'm sure they've gone over it before, especially, you know, at 12U or on their all-star teams when they were growing up. But then depending on what travel organization you're with and who's coaching that travel organization, a travel practice could just be BP and an IO, and then you're out. Let's go play. Or if you practice at all. So to me, having to learn what a first and third is, learn what a bunt defense is, learn how to take the right leads, learn how to go back into the bag. This is all baseball 101, and we're trying to do that now, especially, you know, with the younger kids, to build their baseball IQ so that I don't have to keep, you know, harping on it all year long. That's the biggest struggle right now.
So the transfer portal in college is just, again, putting the pressure on the kids to perform as individuals.
Oh, yeah, that's
They're not being recruited into a program anymore.
no, they're not being recruited into a program anymore. But the transfer portal, I'm sure there's definite good reasons for the transfer portal. There's kids who need that opportunity and need to get out of a bad situation that they're at, and they need to find a new place to go. I have a friend who had a son who just had a really bad situation at a mid-major, went in the transfer portal, was in there for a day, ended up going to another mid-major, and everything I've heard is absolutely, he's loving every bit of it. He's getting every opportunity. So for him, the transfer portal has really helped him out in that way. You can go any which way with the transfer portal that you want. Everybody says it's out of control and it's crazy. To me, I just think it's going to make our guys work harder. It's going to make our guys, lift more, run more. You got to get bigger, faster, and quicker because we got 17-year-old, 18-year-old men, young men, coming out of high school and competing against 20 and 21-year-old men who've already gone through the college, what it's like to manage college education and what it's like to manage college and baseball, which if you've ever played college baseball, that's very difficult to do. So I think it'll help us because our guys are going to have to know if they want to play college baseball, they have to get bigger, they have to get stronger, and they have to get faster. But it's a grind every day just to get into it. I think one of the best parts, I heard a lot of other coaches say, is the JUCO route. There's a lot of opportunities, a lot of options just in this area that are with junior colleges, and those guys are getting opportunities after their time at those junior colleges, which is awesome. So, yeah.
Coach, what's the ceiling for this team that you have this year?
So I've been, like I said, I've been there about six or 7 years as a coach, 4 years as the head coach. The school's never won a district championship in 35 years. And to be in the Concord district for that long and never win a Concord championship, every time we walk into that darn gym and we look at all the banners up for all the other teams that have won state championships, regional championships, to look and see a banner that has no numbers, no dates or anything on it. We've taken a picture of it every year and I put it in our dugout every single year. Our goal day one is that we are going to compete. We're going to compete at every game. I don't care who we're playing. Whether it's a scrimmage against West Springfield in Forest Park or it's a game against Madison right after spring break, we're competing the same way. And our ultimate goal is what everyone's ultimate goal is, but we're taking it by steps. At Centreville Baseball, to never have a district championship, our first goal is a district championship. Our first goal is to win a district championship in one of the toughest districts, if not the toughest district in the state of Virginia. And it's going to be, a grind. I tell them every single day. When you look at our schedule, we have 5 non-conference games against 5 really good non-conference opponents. And then we have, we have a spring break trip. We're staying local for a spring break trip at Patriot Park. And then we go, after those, 9 games prior to that, we go straight into Concord play. So we have a nice little break. We celebrate Easter, and then we get a nice little Easter gift on Tuesday to go play Madison, at Madison. So that's always good.
Well, Coach, best of luck to you and the Wildcats. We look forward to seeing how you guys do this year. Thanks for
so
coming
much.
today.
Thanks for having me.
The Game Day Broadcast Network is proud to present Baseball Media Day. Baseball Media Day is brought to you by ION Training Center, the premier training center for Olympic athletes and hockey in Northern Virginia, and by Integrated Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy. Call Robin O'Connor and her team at Integrated Sports Medicine the next time you have to get back in the game.